to heal imposter syndrome with your 9-year-old inner child through a magical adventure. So you're going to want to save this video so you can come back to it in the future. After this activation, you're going to want to register for my free inner child empowerment class, where I'm teaching how to connect with your inner children through your imagination to amplify your manifestation skills. And you can register for that in my bio or in the comments. When I went into your energy field, I said, hello, 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 as a greeting for your 9-year-old to come forward, and they were holding a spatula like SpongeBob. They said, are you ready to bake? I said, I'm ready.
I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready.
I asked, what are we baking? They said, a celebration cake. Awesome, that sounds fun. What are we celebrating? This is when your inner child and I got really teeny tiny and we're actually standing on top of the cake and my feet were stuck in the icing. I was trying to pull myself out of it and I said, help me. Your 9-year-old invited an elephant to come in and tied a rope around the elephant and then around my waist. And the elephant made the noise the elephant do, like with its trunk. And in many cultures, elephants represent strength, wisdom, and good fortune. The elephant pulled me out of the icing, but my shoes were stuck. And I said, my shoes! Even though your 9-year-old was talking to me, they were really talking to you. I'm just serving as kind of like the proxy here. They said your shoes are what have been keeping you stuck and weighing you down. Taking them off, or having them get stuck, there was an electrical current between your feet and the icing. It was almost like your aura was keeping you from actually touching it. There was a space in between. This is when the Lorax walked up to you and your inner child and hit you with a walking stick in your feet, both of you, and said, you need to be grounding with the trees and Mother Gaia. So it was a hint from your higher self of, hey, maybe we need to invest some more time outdoors with our shoes off, getting Mother Gaia to take out all that stress and anxiety that we have been feeling in our fields. This is when I looked at you, not your 9-year-old, but you, and said, what does imposter syndrome mean? You said deceiving someone. Imposter syndrome means deceiving someone, and the imagery that I saw was Count Dracula from Sesame Street with his cape like this, being dubious. I said, okay, do you think that you are deceiving people? You said, well, I don't think that it's deceiving, it's just not living up to their expectations. I asked, who are you talking about? Whose expectations are you not living up to? And you said, everyone. So this could be family members, friends, your job, career, co-workers, dating relationships, just everyone and everything. Okay, this is giving overachiever. I said, I want you to turn and face your 9-year-old who was in the space with us, and I mean speak to them directly. I want you to tell them that they are not living up to anyone's expectations. And you looked at me and said, I would never do that. And I asked, why not? And you said, because I know how much that hurts. So we've been saying all these things to us as an adult with the imposter syndrome and not living up to people's standards or our own standards. But then when we think in the context of talking to our inner children in the same way, like, no, I would never say that. I said, okay, well, what would you like to say to your 9-year-old? And you said, I don't expect anything from them, from your inner children. I want us to have fun, learn, and grow. I don't expect you to do that, though, at any certain time, growing and evolving. That's not what life is about. Life is about enjoying the experience together, no matter what we're doing, you and your inner children and your higher self. What we're doing is what we're meant to be doing. That's why we feel called to do it. We have the skills. Showing up is the key. It is the bridge to belief. Believing in ourselves and believing in others. Imposter syndrome is impossible when you believe. You heard the call because you have the skills. Show up and be you. That's the truth. The true you. The one who is more than capable of creating whatever you desire. Show up and be you. This is when your 9-year-old handed you the celebration cake. because they have not been thinking this about you at all. Sometimes we're thinking that our inner children are holding certain perspectives, and that's why we are stuck or experiencing certain circumstances. In this instance, your 9-year-old is like, I fully believe in us. We're magical. We can do anything that we set our mind to. But you as an adult going through the 3D experience has taken in a lot of stress and anxiety and expectations of others and expectations of yourself, and has made it this kind of kerfuffle experience. Your 9-year-old wanted to remind you of how capable you are when you show up as your most authentic self, and just show up. That's all we need, is just to show up and be ourselves, because the things that have been calling to you, projects, creations, making movements in life, the only reason that they're there is because you are capable of bringing them into fruition. Imposter syndrome only affects people who are capable. That is a lesson that I learned a few years ago. That really helped me have an amazing perspective shift. A couple synchronicities that may have stuck out to you on our journey together. Baking the cake, SpongeBob with the spatula, I'm ready, I'm ready. The elephant pulling us out of the icing, the Lorax, and Count Dracula from Sesame Street. I would love to hear in the comments if this helped with some energetic shifts, your perspectives, what your biggest takeaways were. Remember to register for the free Inner Child Empowerment class. You can do that in my bio or the comments, and I'm wishing you and your 9-year-old the most celebratory and magical day.